It's pretty freaking fascinating that that's what actually occurred. So again, I posted it the night before the airstrikes began. Okay, now here's another one that is very, very popular that you hear about a lot. This is the baptism of Christ by Geert de Gelder in 1710, one of the most common examples that we see coming up over and over again throughout history. This particular artist is Dutch, and I've showed this one to you before. It is really quite amazing because here's Jesus and John the Baptist, an undeniable disc up in the sky that has light coming off of it, and it's beaming down upon them. And if you look really up close, in fact, I'll do that for you again. We'll zoom in on that even more. It's kind of hard to see, but you can, and there's other versions of this that have higher resolution that I've used before. But there is a dove in there, so there is a dove shape inside the disc, which is important. But still, despite the fact that it looks like a dove in there, this is undeniably a UFO-oriented image. So Geert de Gelder, again, very, very phenomenal. There's the dove. You can't really see it there, but there's other images that are more high resolution that I've had on here before. And the year was 1710, the baptism of Christ. So really intense. And again, is this something that did it come to him intuitively? Or was there a secret tradition about discs being involved in Christian apparitions? We don't really know, but either way, the disc motif shows up undeniably with the moment where Jesus is baptized by John the Baptist. Or maybe it's John the Baptist at Jesus'... No, I think this is Jesus with John the Baptist baptizing him. I think that's what we're supposed to see here. Or maybe this is Jesus washing his feet. I don't know. If anybody knows the context, you can certainly give it to me in the comments. But this can be viewed, if you want to go see that painting, you go to Cambridge and you visit the Fitzwilliam Museum, and there it is. It's pretty freaking amazing, pretty phenomenal thing. Yep, and definitely the idea of, oh my God. No, that's, you guys can, yep, thank you. So somebody, anyway, blasphemous, whatever. Don't appreciate that, but whatever. We're not gonna, that comment got moderated. So you can see that these UFOs were appearing and that either they're stylized this way or people are reinterpreting things that were heard about. Maybe there were UFO sightings that they were, but this is really, really wild because you look at it and it's just so beautiful. I really love this image because of there's 4 rays coming down, and it's just really, really amazing, phenomenal work that absolutely looks like a flying disc, which again, the Law of One tells us this is what we're getting from the Confederation. And there's a dove of peace in there. So I love that one. It's really, really beautiful. And, you know, takes a long time to get these things to go. It takes a long time to realize what really is going on in the world and how effective and amazing this stuff is. So next we have the crucifixion, which is a fresco from Woo! Svetishkovelli. Svetishkovelli. There. I got it. In Mitsketa, Georgia. Okay, those are real tongue twisters. Svetishkovelli in Mitsketa, Georgia. This is called the crucifixion. And unfortunately, in some type of religious persecution, it was desecrated, where you see that people scratched off lines around their faces and their bodies, and then Jesus even has some scratches on his face. But this is a depiction of Jesus being crucified. Clearly, it's archaic work. See if we had a date. I don't have a date on that one, sorry. But then look at what happens here. Very, very obvious bell-shaped craft, once again, 2 UFO-looking objects, one blue and one red. And this is another interesting consideration, is the degree to which they can actually be colored. They can have colors on them, and those colors can change depending on what the UFO wants to do And this is one of the things that we see in, why do we see that? Why do we see colors? Because they have the ability to glow in different ways. We've seen modern UFO pictures. In fact, one of the pictures we have does show it glowing. But, this is actually very common, that the UFOs will glow. They don't just stay looking metallic. And in fact, in the Fatima sightings, the UFO that was a disc that appeared in 1917 over Portugal actually glowed in different colors and had beautiful, beautiful waves of colored light that went throughout the sky and cast across the air in such a beautiful way. It was just stunning. And again, I'm very grateful to be here today, and I'm very grateful to give you this message. And I want to always have you remember that these events take place. It has nothing to do with my credibility as an individual. It has to do with the scope of what we really know. So this data does not hinge on me. It's just something that is available to everyone and should always be considered when we're looking at disclosure. In other words, UFOs have been around for a long time, and the disc-shaped ones appear to be usually the good guys. And here it is directly, again, associated with Jesus. That is just stunning. Frankly, to me, it's stunning. So then we have a woodcut from Arabia, 1479. Not a lot of context on this one. It showed up on crystallinks.com. Maybe we could do reverse image search and study more, but it clearly looks like a cigar-shaped craft. Clearly it's in the sky. It's got clouds around it. Pretty wild, illustration right there from Arabia. So here's another one. This is from China, 1400 AD, and it was called Illustrated Survey of Weird Countries. And here we have two men, so they're portrayed as human, in a chariot. Now this again was on Crystal Links, and we're going to quote from them. It was within fair use limits, so I can do all that. And so all that kanji character stuff that you see on the right, all that handwriting, we're going to read it. We're going to find out what it actually means, and we're going to apply it to this. So the caption, which is what we were just showing you, is those Chinese characters, reads, Ji Gung Land.